Hiya, so I've just come back from the shops. Shall we see what we've got? Right, yo. So, spaghetti, packet of mushrooms. I went for the 5% fat in our mince. I could have got the other ones that were a high percentage in fat, and if I had, I would just drain off the fat when it cooks. So I've got 5% mince. Big net of onions because it was cheaper than buying individual ones, and we'll use them throughout the week to cook all sorts. A big bag of carrots. Again, I'm only going to use 2, so it means that we've got plenty for tea for the rest of the week. And then I got 4 tins of chopped tomatoes. I know it seems a lot, but because I'm doubling up and I'm making a big batch of Bolognaise, so I can either turn it into lasagna or just portion it up and freeze it for our future selves. Yeah, so 4 tins of tomatoes. Right, so a few things that I had in the house that I didn't buy in the shop but that will be used in our equation to work out how much it's cost to feed us for tea is, I already knew that I had 2 peppers in, some garlic, and some red lentils. So yeah, shall we get cracking? Look at them lentils. So lentils would be really good in here because they'll bulk it up, they'll help us feel fuller for longer. They're a really high source of fibre, and there's no saturated fat in them. So I'll get cooking me tea, shall I? I'll see you in a bit. Right, yo, so I've chopped up all of our veg, our onions, our peppers, our garlic, carrots and mushrooms. So first off, what I'm going to do, so I've got 2 pans on the go. So because I'm batch cooking and I'm going to make essentially 8 portions of food, which will be enough to feed 4 of us twice, I'm going to use my frying pan here to sort of dry fry all of my ingredients, and then once they're cooked I'm going to pop them into this big pan here, and then I'll just leave it. Once it's all been transferred over there, I'll just then leave it to cook and do its thing. So first off, in this pan I'm just going to fry off our onions. So just in there over a medium heat, I'll leave them, just stir them every now and then, just make sure they don't colour too much, and then I'll be back in a bit. Right, yo, so there we go, our onions just starting to colour, they're all cooked now, so I'm just going to pop them into our big pan, and next up just going to pop our carrots in and our peppers, and I'll just leave them to slowly cook in here. Right, so I've just popped the lid on this big pan just to basically keep the heat in the onions while I slowly fry off these carrots and peppers, and then I'll add them in there. Rightio, our carrots and our peppers are just starting to soften and relax, so what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to pop them into the big pan with our onions. Just pop the lid back on that, just keep the warmth in, and now just cook down our mushrooms a little bit. So there we go, our mushrooms are all cooked through, they've changed colour, they've collapsed a little bit, so I'm going to pop them now into my big pot. I know it seems like I'm putting a lot of vegetables in here, but they'll go towards our plant point, and like I said, they're a really good source of fibre for us. But if you or someone who you're cooking for isn't a big fan of vegetables, then by all means change it up, include the vegetables in there that you do like. Or another thing you can do, especially if you're cooking for children, is you can actually, at this point, once all of your vegetables is cooked, is you can just, if you've got a stick blender, just blend it all together. So it means that they're still getting all the goodness, they're still getting all the nutrients from the vegetables, but they're just hidden. So quite often hiding vegetables like this, especially from children or really fussy eaters, means that they start eating it and they get used to the taste of them, and then you can start making the pieces a little bit bigger and a little bit bigger until they then start getting used to the texture. So our vegetables are all cooked, and now I'm going to fry off our mince. So like I say, I just got the 5% one, so pop that into our pan. Just going to break it up, just keep giving it a good stir until it's all cooked through, and then I'll pop that into our big pan. Rightio, so there's our mince all cooked through. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch my pans around, just like that. So you can see all those bits of veggies in there now. So we've got our onion, our garlic, our peppers, carrots, mushrooms. So there's all our veggies. Now I'm going to pop our mince in. Like I said, it's the 5%, so there's very little fat in there. So in that goes. There we go. See in there? Like I say, I am doubling it up, so that's why I'm using the 2 pans. If I was just doing a single pot, like enough to feed the 4 of us, I wouldn't be doing so much. And then here, can you see them? Our lentils. So because I'm using the red ones, I haven't pre-soaked them or anything. I'm just going to pop them straight in. Just give them a good mix up. Put mine into a big pan and I'm leaving it on the stove, and once I get my tin tomatoes in, it'll be there for about an hour or so. But by all means, pop it in a slow cooker on low, so that means you could fry it all off on the morning and then go to work, and then by the time you come back, it's all cooked. There we go. So our mince, all of our vegetables and our lentils are just dotting through there as well. So now, in with our 4 tins of chopped tomatoes. So I'm just going to leave that there doing its thing, and I'll be back in a bit. There we go, I've just taken the lid off, and there it is, just slowly cooking away, soaking up all them flavours. But if you've got any herbs drying around, whether they're dry or fresh, you can pop them in, some thyme, rosemary, pop a bay leaf in, and it'll all go to just adding a little bit more flavour to it and a bit more depth. So yeah, I'll just leave that doing its little thing, and I'll see you in a bit. Rightio. So there is our bolognese, just about cooked. I'm just giving it another stir through. I'm just going to leave the lid off it, just for some of the juices to evaporate off and soak up a little bit more. So that's nearly cooked, and now I've just got a pan of boiling water on at the back there. We're using whole wheat spaghetti, but you could use white pasta, which will cook a little bit quicker. We're going for the brown pasta because it's higher in fibre, so it'll keep you fuller for longer. But yeah, you can go for penne pasta, fusilli, whatever it is that you've got in your cupboards. So I'm just going to pop that in your pan, and I'll get that cooking, and I'll be back in a minute. So there we go, our bolognese all dished up. So it's 50% mince and 50% lentils plus all of our veggies. And then I forgot, I bought a bag of salad. So that is included in our price to feed us all for tea. Right, there's loads left in my pan, so I might make lasagna one night for tea. There's my pan. Oh yeah, thinking of our future self.